This chapter will provide information regarding the frequency of inappropriate anger and the impact it has on victims.
Each year in California, there are thousands of victims of violence. The statistics from California's Attorney General in 2016 registered 174,701 violent crimes. 1,930 were homicides, with over 50% killed by a friend, spouse, or relative. There were over 104,000 aggravated assaults and 164,569 domestic violence-related calls for assistance, with over 70,000 involving a weapon. Victims are women, men, and children. The U.S. statistics for 2015 report that close to 1,700 children died in the U.S. as a result of abuse or neglect. Of that group, the mother was responsible almost 27% of the time, the father was responsible almost 15% of the time, and both parents were responsible over 22% of the time. In addition, the psychological impact of inappropriate anger is not limited to the victim. It could be argued that children witnessing inappropriate anger could be considered victims as well. A victim of violence experiences fear, pain, betrayal, resentment, confusion, depression, wanting to get even, anger, sadness, frustration, guilt, medical issues, embarrassment, humiliation, anxiety, panic, and many, many more, including death. Obviously, there is a serious problem when inappropriate anger enters the relationship, and it's a time to make choices. Should we stay? Should we leave? What will happen with the children? Can I trust the offender? Can I trust the victim? Unfortunately, getting professional help isn't a likely consideration. Often, there is an apology by one or both and a spoken or unspoken understanding that they don't want the inappropriate anger to happen again. Although this may work for some, it is common for the pattern to repeat itself. Many individuals know the relationship is doomed, but don't have the strength or resources to end it. For many, the changes take place when the police get involved. One or both may agree to not be in the relationship anymore. However, although both may blame the other for their problems, there are a lot of couples who choose to stay together. They may not like or trust each other, but there is an understanding that making it on their own is more difficult than staying together. A common scenario is for the offender to call for help from the jail, making promises to change. They now have legal challenges to deal with, and it will be much harder to raise a family, pay bills, or take care of a home on their own. The courts often, in cases like this, will issue what is called a peaceful contact order. This means that if the couple is going to stay together, the court issues an order stating that their relationship needs to be safe and peaceful. Lack of ownership is very common. Many times participants in my groups talked about how easy it was for the law to get involved when they believed the police shouldn't, instead of recognizing that it is up to both parties to ensure that the environment is safe and peaceful. In many cases, the victims are so psychologically damaged that the offender can control almost all situations, and the victim is made to feel like the offender. Without a serious commitment to change by both parties, inappropriate anger is a formula for disaster. Many times this is understood, yet the commitment to change is weak, and the issues remain unresolved. The inappropriate behaviors continue usually until a major change takes place. Someone is seriously hurt, someone is incarcerated, they stay away from each other, the children are taken, or there is a move away from the area. Even when couples split up, the toxicity of the relationship can penetrate the soul so deeply, especially when children are involved, that one or both will continue their campaign of hurt and anger.